No, wrong one. Not that. Can't let everyone know about that yet. Hello, welcome to Talk Gamer. I'm your host, Rob. We're live at the FHGT 2019 in the Element Game Superstore Megastore.
Yeah, it's very, very exciting.
I'm joined by Mr. Darren Watson. Hello, Darren.
Hello, lovelies. I'm joined by Mr. Rob Sims.
That's not even how you say my last name.
Nailed it.
Welcome to the show. Obviously, this is a 5-game match play Age of Sigmar tournament.
Yeah.
Darren, you excited about that?
I'm very excited. Just look around the room. There's like some of my hobby heroes. I can see AD Mac right now getting
Yeah,
prepared.
I can see AD Mac too.
Very
Big excited. We're going to be bringing you 5 rounds of match play Warhammer, so I hope you guys are excited. Bruce Hammer in the chat saying, yay, Dazza, you sexy beast, hook and pin. So thank you for joining us.
Hello, lovelies.
Thank you for joining us, whether or not you're live on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you might be. Make sure I hope you're having a good watch party. If you get onto Twitter and do hashtag rate my setup. Yeah,
yes.
we'd like to see what your setups are for watching live.
That's not your deployment, is it? That's your
your picture. You got your can of decaf coffee next to you. That's correct. Yeah.
My setup will be so bad.
But for the first time ever, we've got a gorgeous individual called Owen, and he is going to be our infield reporter. So it's his first time. It's also Darren's first time. Darren, thanks for being here.
But yes, thanks for having me. I hope I do you proud.
But Darren's going to have hours to talk. This man's going to be doing it in 5-minute segments. He already made himself a hero yesterday. I'm a big fan. Here he is now telling you about what's going to happen in the rest of the tournament here.
Oh.
That's okay. That's my fault. That's bad prep by me, and we're going to start again.
Let's do it.
There you go.
Thanks, man. Are we going again? This is all live. Wow. Oh, look at that. My first ever screen debut, and I managed to screw it up already, eh? Okay, Rob's saying he screwed it up, but I need to know which buttons to press. Okay, so you probably had me mute across all of that lovely intro. Bottom line is, I'm not going to start again. All I'm going to say is that I'm the April O'Neil to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles of Darren Watson, Rob Symes, and Benjamin Sava, who's over there. We're going to have a great time all weekend, bringing you all the stories from the table. And yeah, I've done my research. It's all in front of me. We've got 7 players from the UK top 10. We've got all sorts of big name players: Dan Bradshaw, Tony Moore, James Tinsdale, Laurie Huggett-Wild, Steve Curtis, Mike Wilson, Andy Hughes. We've got ETC champions. We've got Six Nations champions. We've got heat winners. Whoa, it's exciting. Byron's right next to me. He's excited. Aren't we excited about all this?
Very excited, yeah.
It's Russ's birthday. God, it's all going on. So, I've had a little look around the tables. I'm looking. I've got some dark horse picks for who I think perhaps could take it out. Byron's given me a few little pointers on who he thinks. Yeah, a few little tidbits on some returning fantasy players. So yeah, it's an exciting round one. We're playing shifting objectives. So the new shifting objectives. So it's now on the shortways deployment. And yeah, looking through here, I've found some really good round ones. We've got a TO clash. Mr. Ben Curry against Mr. Chris Tomlin, who's brought Draconis.
Both excellent players. Yeah, both solid players.
And then we've got 3 Squiggalanches in the building. So Ben Johnson, James Chalmers, and Tom Lee's all bringing all those bouncy squigs. Now my dark horse pick has started. He's got a tough start. JP Stevens is playing Slanesh, and my dark horse pick is man from Hellstorm Wargaming. That's Toby Meadows. Now, Toby's been putting together a few good results. I mean, he came, was it 3rd recently at Eggs?
Yeah, he came 3rd at Eggs with the Tom Maudsley list, which is the Quad Vermin Lord list.
Exactly. I'm going to call him Toby Maudsley for all weekend because he's blatantly ripped that list off. But no, Toby's a lovely lad, and yeah, he's been putting some good results together. Yeah, knows his stuff. And yeah, he recently won the Mancunian Carnage, which again, another TO in the building. We've got Alex Ghostarm here. And then looking down through Steve Curtis, a lovely man, always looking out to see what Steve does. He has brought his FEC as usual, and he's facing off against a list that I'm going to call all the Dons. I've never seen so many Pterodons on the same table.
No, neither have I. Dan didn't come up with it himself, unsurprisingly. It is a Tom Maudsley army again. So there are 2 armies, which are Tom Maudsley armies, in the building that are not being played by Tom Maudsley, and one that is being played by the man himself.
So Maudsley's doppelganger cloak is very much activated for the weekend. Yeah, there's yeah, the triple ganger. And then now my tree bro, Mr. Laurie Huggett Wild, by his own admission, he didn't have a great London GT. We've both been crying into each other's soup or whatever. I don't know what that means. We've both been consoling each other on the state of the Sylvaneth book, but he's picked himself up. He's brought himself up to the Facehammer GT, and he has drawn Ricky Me round 1.
He has. Ricky is a super solid player. Always very, very consistent when he does play, when he does go to events. When I was on my hot streak, he was one of the only people that beat me, and it was a resounding smashing. And he's playing a kind of balls to the wall. It's pretty much the list that Team England took to the ETC, played by Les Martin and ran by Just Play Richie as well.
So the kind of super resilient Fire Slayers build then.
Yes, exactly. Super brilliant, super scary. Probably the list in the game at the moment to beat, but it's shifting objectives. He is super mobile. That is the one thing that the Fire Slayers are not, and he does have the ability just to spit out crap units again and again and again with unit generation. So he's a good player as well. If anyone's going to do it, yeah.
Excellent. Well, that kind of wraps. Oh, I've got one more. I can't miss out my Team Wales bros. And Alex Bruce has drawn a doozy. He's got Dan Ford round 1. I've got some faces being pulled in the booth. But yeah, I need to go and check in on those guys. But he's brought his usual mixed order, secret tech. There's all sorts of individual units in there. I think it's about 20 drops. Rob's looking at me like I might be chatting too much. I've got a dry mouth. I think I'm going to pass back to the babes in the booth. They're going to be the babes in the booth all weekend. And they're going to bring you Donal with a flying go trek on the top table.
Well, thank you so much for that, Owen. And interestingly, he's only 25. Looks fantastic. Yeah,
he must wash
absolutely. Yeah, brilliant. And he's going to leave that microphone on so that Ben can talk to us, which is going to be.
I don't
brilliant.
mind being a babe in the booth. I think that's appropriate,
being a
isn't
babe
it?
in the booth. So welcome everyone to Game 1. We've got Seraphon versus Maggot King and Nurgle.
No, we've got Gottrex versus
you
Maggot
ruined
King.
You jumped the gun. You went straight to the top.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's very exciting. So we've got that's our first game, and the first thing we're going to talk about, obviously, is the scenario.
Yeah. Shifting objectives, isn't it? So this is one that Gottrex actually enjoys because he can go sit on one, and then the army can go deal with the other 2, right?
Exactly.
He's his own army.
So the way the scenario works, there are 3 objectives in the centre of the board, as you can see, and one of them is worth 3 points, and then at the beginning of every battle round, it shifts. It literally moves.
I'm going to channel my mental energy into the one where Gottrex is. That's where it's going to be the entire game. Because I just want the camera on him the entire game, if possible.
So the players we've got. So it's going to be 1 point for each other objective. So let's say that the centre objective is going to be worth 3, and then these will be worth 1. So there'll be 5 points available per battle round for you to achieve your turn of that battle round. There are no bonus points for taking an objective, so it's very much about bodies and claiming it, which is going to be an interesting game when we look at the 2 armies and how I think that they're going to match up.
Yeah, the Nurgle really like this scenario, don't they? And it looks quite intimidating for the Seraphon from this angle, doesn't it? But
it does.
But with their summoning, with Gottrex, I think they'll be able to get back into it late game.
Yeah, so if you guys are watching live, don't forget, if you're watching on Twitch, big thank you for subscribing, and also big thank you for being big thank you for everyone on Patreon who helps support the show. If you want to look at the list, you just only need to press the BIP button here, and you're able to bring up all the lists for yourself. The better information panel, as I've seen, Luvo has already told people in the chat. So that'll bring you all your hot goss, so you can look at the lists and analyse them, maybe better than we can. Also, thank you for subscribing, Kesley, for a month. well, for the first time.
Thanks for everyone's support as well, because I'm a little terrified, and everyone's been so kind.
Darren's first time. How do you feel about it?
Terrified, but super excited and very honoured. Thank you very much. It's so kind of you to
Well,
have me
no,
on.
I'm super. I mean, I couldn't ask for, I think, worldwide famous Age of Sigmar players. You've got Darren Watson and Benjamin Savin. Benjamin Savin is our table boss currently. He's the man bringing you the information from the table. So
he looks great as well, doesn't he?
I've had some pretty stellar crews, realistically. You two are pretty good at Warhammer. The Nathan and Jonathan combo is the one that I would take to a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. I'd be all for the zombie apocalypse.
So different stream teams for different things, but I'm very excited. So join Benjamin Savage is going to be commentating the next game, and then the game after that is going to be both Benjamin and Darren. No me. So join a day of good coverage from at least 2 great Warhammer players, and I'm here.
I'll do our very best.
Speckles, I can see in the chart. Excited to see you there. Blue Seal of Wisdom not playing 9 Stormfiends.
Because he's got a soul, that's why.
Okay, so let's look at the list. Let's click that BIP button, shall we? And shall we see what these lists are going to be? So for Donal, and this is big, he's decided to take a Seraphon army. He's got 2 Engine of the Gods. You can see already them deployed on the board there and there. Much easier for me to work out where they are because they're my models. There's
Rebased.
There is.
Sexy new.
There is
sexy
also a
new army.
Skink Star Priest on the board. I'm going to find out exactly where he is in a moment when we get to it. I know that the Slan is over here. There he is. And he has got the Great Rememberer. And he's got the Griff of the Charm, so -1 to hit. He's got Stellar Tempest. And the Skink Star Priest has got Walk Between Realms, which is going to be useful. Then there are 3 lots of 10 Skinks. Personally, I'd have gone for 4, but it's Donal's list. He can do what he likes.
Well, there's he would have had more, wouldn't he? But
He could have had more.
That's another
he just
story.
decided not to for some reason. And then
For people that don't know, Donal's borrowed Rob's army, and Rob's only bought 30 skinks with him.
I actually only own 35 Skinks somehow. And then he has 3 Razordons right here, 3 lots of Salamanders, a unit of 3 Salamanders, and the Salamanders could do some pretty amazing work. He's got a devastating summoning pool of
10 Saurus Warriors.
Croxigore and Saurus Warriors. But the big unit that we need to talk about is the man who's on the field, Gotrek himself.
Yeah!
He's also got the Endless Spell, Chronomantic Cogs. Darren, it's his first tournament match play outing on a live stream ever. Are you excited about seeing what he can do? What do you think he can do?
Well, it's my first time commentating, and I get to do it with Seraphon and Gotrek. I mean, that's you couldn't ask for a better game, right?
No, you feel.
I couldn't. What do I think he's going to do? He's going to destroy the world. That Glotkin, he's going to go straight towards Glotkin. I'm literally rubbing my hands as we speak. And
You're excited.
And he's going to nail him. I'm going to channel it.
So if you were Donal on this first turn, not forgetting that, I did forget. I did remember this, but I've had a lot of information on brain. We can get some info from the table boss, actually, because that's what our whole shtick is.
I feel professional now putting these on.
Yeah. But he's up against Matt, and as you can see, Matt's got a Nurgle force. He's got Harbinger of Decay, and then he has got the Glotkin. He has also got a Great Unclean One, and he has got 30 Plague Bearers, 10 Putrid Blight Kings, another 10 Putrid Blight Kings, and a Chaos Warbeast Chariot, Gorbeast Chariot, which you do not see very often.
And Rotigus, don't forget Rotty.
Oh, and Rotigus, I'm so sorry.
Dribbling in those mortal wounds.
Oh. Okay. So, we haven't actually had our headphones up until now, Ben. We apologise. So let's give us a quick recap.
You guys can't hear this, but this is quite magical. I've
So,
got Ben Sava in my ear, like all throughout the game. It's quite beautiful, and I can watch him as well, and he's smiling.
He is. He looks great.
He looks like the great boss, doesn't he?
They're currently picking agendas. Matt is going to get to choose to go first. And so they're picking so there's 2 secret agendas. Really interesting scoring at Facehammer. Whoever wins this is going to get. Whoever wins the scenario gets 14 points. You will get 14 tournament points. You also get a tournament point for each secret objective which you achieve, of which you choose 2 at the start.
Yeah, I really like that.
You also score a point for each of your opponent's secret objectives they don't achieve.
Yeah.
So there's a potential 4 points available there, and then there's also a tournament point if you kill over 1,000 points in models, and there's also a tournament point if you don't lose 1,000 points.
I like that. It just rewards all sorts of different builds, doesn't it?
So many different builds.
So yeah, really interesting.
Yeah. So
the secondaries, are they? If you get one, your opponent doesn't get it. Are they the opposites like they were at the London GT?
yes.
Because that's so good. So it eliminates collusion, which is really, really such a good touch. I hope that's taken up in all tournaments.
Yeah, so there are 20 potential victory points available each battle round, and so the 20-0 system, and the Facehammer guys being long-time Warhammer players before Age of Sigmar even was around, 20-0 system being pretty much used, and that added point granularity is hopefully going to differentiate the field as it comes into day 2.
Yeah, it's so difficult to get a full 100 as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It is, yeah. Really
It's fairly challenging, realistically. And there, Donal would like us to point out that he's had his whole Seraphon army, which he hasn't used before, but he's had all the information provided by AOS reminders.
That's so good as well. Is it
put his
Davis
list in there.
Ford? Davis Ford that does that on Twitter?
Pardon me?
David, the guy that does
AOS reminders.
Davis Ford, yeah.
So if you haven't seen that app, it's a really
Thank
cool
you,
app.
Davis, if you're out there, because that's a really, really useful tool.
Yeah, it's a really good app, really, really clever.
And I believe he's done it all for free as well. So what a hero!
There is a subscribe feature, which whenever anyone does anything good, I would encourage them to subscribe.
They shouldn't they?
So can we just take a look at
Doesn't he? Look at that.
He's done a good job on it, I think. It's really, really pretty.
He's not deployed it behind that big rock, though, has he? Oh, yes.
So, so Darren, Matt has decided to take the first turn.
Interesting.
How do you feel about that? And what do you think he's going to do?
What do I think he's going to do? I think if he's going to go for the first turn, he's got the +1 wound on the dial, I believe. He's probably just going to run at those objectives and blob them up completely with all those plague bearers. I think I'd be tempted to have given the Seraphon the first turn in this situation and try and play for the double. So I assume that he's just going to blob it, isn't he? He's going to do what all Nurgle players do, and he's just going to blob all 3 of those objectives and let the Seraphon come to him.
Like a virulent plague, would you say?
I think that's exactly what I'd say, if I could pronounce that word.
Well, virulent. Matt's on it for turn 1, which is going to be, I think, an exciting time.
He's very deep with his characters, isn't he? I suppose he's really frightened of Gottrex. That just goes to show the value you get from Gottrex. Even if he's that slow, people are still going to be trying to... It's like a Benny Hill sketch, isn't it?
But he's going to move those, and what can only...
that allows people within a certain distance, I can't quite remember, but I think that's over the distance there, to give you a 5-up save, which is super handy on Glotkin because he's got so many wounds.
So specifically it's on mortals?
It's on mortal, yeah.
So that's going to be this unit of Blight Kings here, this unit of Blight Kings here, and I assume the Glotkin, so I'm not sure on the range, but I think it might be 18 inches.
Is it 18? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's an older book, not this year.
It's been a while since I've used him, to be fair.
Yeah.
They're going to be difficult to shift, those Blight Kings.
Adam Kunis, nice seeing you. Okay.
It does look amazing, Adam. You'd love it.
The army does look beautiful, absolutely. So what did you say that was going to be the plan for the first turn, Darren?
I think he's going to blob all those objectives and say, come and get me. And then I think Gottrex is going to go and get him. He's cast blades on... Oh, so he's just cast blades on a 9. What unit was it? He's still deciding.
So just Just going to look at that army again. There we go. Thank you for pointing out that I hadn't sorted out the sound profile on one of the scenes. You can hear us now. There we go. We're talking and you can see at the same time.
The Nurgle will be dripping in mortal wounds, and I'd imagine he's going to be going for all of Donal's support characters. That Star Priest, I don't think should be around for long.
Do you want to see a unit that we've never seen outside of like show games on Warhammer TV that no one cares about?
Hey.
There you go, a Gore Beast chariot. Look at that.
I put 4 of those in our chariot list.
Yeah.
Gore Beast chariot, just
Yeah.
because you never see them. But I think they're not so bad. They do mortal wounds when they charge in, and they're tanky. And
8 wounds, 4 up save.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you, Keith B. Thank you, everyone, helping with the tech support in the chat. I'm missing my man John Scrivens in the field helping me out. So it's just. Oh. Okay, so we've heard Plagues of Putrefaction has been cast. And it's been cast onto this unit. Oh, no, not from there. That's a hard I'm so sorry. I'm
That's
getting
okay,
carried
don't
away.
apologise to me.
So he's got Blades of Putrefaction here on this unit of Plague Bearers.
But he's failed Fleshy Abundance.
Yes.
So that makes them vulnerable to Gotrek.
That does make them. So that would give them an extra wound each.
Apologise to anyone that's listening if you get annoyed with how many times I mention Gotreks, but I am a super fan.
Has he got an X? Is it Gotrek?
I don't know. I can't pronounce things. I'm not an educated man. It's been Gotreks my entire life, and I'm sticking with it.
Apparently we're getting cheers. It is Gotreks. Rob, shut the fuck up. Oh, no swearing.
Hey, it was you that did it first and not me. Yes.
Apologies, everyone at home, if you're watching with the kids. That we're going to go for a no swearing stream today. As of now, that was just my test.
I'm the one with the potty mouth as well, so this is my biggest fear.
Okay.
But it wasn't me that messed
apparently
up.
It doesn't matter. I'm a mess.
Oh, 3 4s have just gone off for the Rotigus spell.
So he's going to pick.
You should be. Well, if it were me, I'd be hitting those the salamanders, and I'd be hitting that Star Priest with that spell.
Yeah.
Trying to mitigate that damage because they're surprisingly good, and he can see them from where he is as well.
Can we just ask our table boss where Gotrek is? Because he's actually on a 32mm base, and I actually don't have any clue where he is on the tabletop. I've been scanning for him.
He's omnipresent, front and centre.
Oh, right, in the middle, right here.
Yeah, he's front and he's centre.
Okay, let's go get him. Because this has been painted by a wonderful painter called... he's lost one already.
Gotrek has just taken a wound from Rotigus' spell. See, that's something I wouldn't have done, but...
So there he is. There's a skink in the way. We're finally going to... There we go. Let's go find him.
Just taken a wound.
There he is.
He's livid.
Now, obviously... He's been painted okay. Look, those skinks obviously phenomenal. No, there's a painter called Studio Earthwood. If you'd like to get your models painted by him, he accepts all forms of payment, mainly lattes.
Cuddles.
There he is, Gotrek on the field.
Oh, that looks great, doesn't
hidden
it?
by skinks.
That looks absolutely beautiful. But he's taken away the very first dice roll I've ever seen Gotrek's roll, and it's a 1. Come on, lad.
So he's already taken a wound.
Good grief.
There is a mortal wound, so he only had his 3-up DPR.
Shows what I know. I wouldn't have targeted him, so...
Yeah, so he's ready, and he's just steely-eyed. Look at
he's livid. I'd be livid. Come on.
Look at that, steely-eyed. There's an objective. Look how little he is. There's the objective. He's just gonna go there and be like, "This is mine."
So the Glotkin's command ability has just gone off, chaps. So he's going to be getting everyone a +1 attack within 14 inches, I believe. The Glotties.
Yep. So that unit of Plague Bearers now they've got an extra attack each, and they're doing mortal wounds on 6s to hit, which it's really good.
Yeah, they're surprisingly.
But defensive, I would say, because obviously Matt. Well, that's not true. There's +2 move on the wheel. That's the
+1 wound, wasn't it? He got number 2.
+1 to wound. Sorry.
Was that right, Ben? Yeah, Ben's nodding in a stylish fashion.
Appreciate that. So what's happened? So they're not going to go quite as quick, but this unit of Plague Bearers is going to be able to get here. They're going to be able to run and charge. Yeah.
Well, the trouble he's got is he's just spanked his command point on Glotty, and he's got no command points elsewhere. So that is true, isn't it? I'm not just making that up.
Yep.
Yeah. So they movement 4. So to get to that objective, he's risking. I think I would have gone for the 6 to make sure they get onto the objective, rather than because The Seraphon themselves are super fragile. You don't need Blades of Putrefaction, and you don't need the extra attack. What you do need is that